Thank you, Madam President. Buenas tardes a todos. Good evening, everyone. The first topic I want to address tonight is communication. Most everybody who studies it recognizes it has two or more parts, both sending and receiving. And ironically, when there's an issue with communication, some people immediately jump to the conclusion it's the sender that's the problem, not necessarily considering the receiving end. Except, of course, when addressing sometimes a public body, ironically, the issue is listening to the community. So some people immediately jump to the conclusion the receiver is the problem. And I can attest that our community is not of one voice on most any issue. And the fact that others may disagree doesn't necessarily mean that they did not listen. It may mean they hold a different point of view. Our district collects all types of data on stakeholders and their interests, on parent, student, and staff satisfaction, from school culture and student achievement to efficacy of operations and accountability to our taxpayers. Our district communicates with different stakeholders for varied purposes through the newspaper, mailed print pieces, backpack print pieces, school district provided student agendas, websites for the district and schools, YouTube posts, Facebook pages for the district and schools, emails, telephone calls, marquee messages, parent conferences, progress reports, face-to-face individual meetings, advisory committee meetings, and town halls, even an occasional handwritten note. I've probably forgotten a few others. We feel somewhat satisfied when we can muster a large gathering of the community to share in the exchange of ideas or celebration of the accomplishments of our students and our employees. We are glad you are all here this evening. Some of our communications advisory board meetings are not well attended as we would like. Generally, we have somewhat of a loyal following that attends gathering and works with staff to help improve the district, and I want to extend a special thanks to all of you. We'll be hosting one final town hall on the adoption of focus schools in 2016-17 school year this coming May 7th in this room at 6:30. If you were unable to make one of the other 6 meetings already hosted at various schools, then please feel welcome to attend. Part of the reason the board's having discussion about school programs and rescheduling the school week is because of the ongoing cuts to our school system. In our last meeting, we discussed ideas for reducing over $250,000 in operating expenses that we needed to cut as a result of the 15-16 state budget. Discussion about the level of funding for Arizona schools has been debated for months, but a report from the Joint Legislative Budget Committee states that school districts representing 6 out of 7 students statewide will have $21,372,600 less in funds next year. The report also shows that charter schools representing 1 out of 7 students will have an increase of $10,171,500. School districts with thousands of students, none of which can be relegated to a waiting list, are being cut, while charter schools with less than 400 students see increases of $40,000. In our case, the JLBC used out-of-date student counts to get an increase in an accurately high number. Estimates also don't include the loss of funding that comes with the $1 million county limit for the 1% primary property tax cap. And this is only impacting district schools. Despite these challenges, our district is advancing in program offerings for our students. All 6 schools wholeheartedly embrace the love of digital learning by celebrating Littleton's first ever Digital Learning Day. As a culminating event to a week of project-based learning, students showcase their learning to community members visiting their classrooms. Classrooms featured students working on assignments online and uploading their completed assignments for their teacher to grade digitally. On STEM projects, inventions, cell phones as responders, and on teachers using technology for tools for immediate feedback to students. The day was a huge success, and everyone shared in the love for real-world learning. I want to share with you an email we received from Dan Davis, the City of Avondale Economic Development Department. He attended one of our tours and wrote, "Thank you for the opportunity for being included in Digital Learning Day last Friday. I know there's a lot of great things happening every day in your schools, but I have to say I was very impressed with how your teachers are utilizing technology and getting students excited about learning. The student engagement in every classroom that was visited was thrilling. The daily challenges for teachers might seem overwhelming, but little by little, they're making a huge difference. We're here to help, and the education and economic development go hand in hand. Country Place and Tres Rios STEM clubs recently competed in the regional MESA engineering competition at Peoria High School, and our students really enjoyed the event. The Country Place Elementary STEM Club had one team place fourth for their roller coaster design, another in sixth place. In the on-site design challenge, they earned first place overall. Tres Rios Elementary had a team that received third place, I think, in the duct tape challenge, and another that received fifth place. The district math challenge was hosted by the Teaching and Learning Department in mid-March, and Estrella Vista Elementary School swept the competition, winning first place in all three categories: primary, intermediate, and middle. Congratulations to them. There was a tremendous turnout of parents and school administrators, and we want to extend our appreciation to Ms. Nielsen, who assisted with presentation of trophies and awards. Estrella Vista also was honored by St. Mary's Food Bank recently for contributions this year, and Senator John McCain was a guest speaker, and Principal Ramos was able to get his picture and a photo op with the senior senator from Arizona. All this time I thought he was a Democrat. Recruiting season is in full swing, and April is our busiest month. We have already had teams in Texas, Missouri, Kansas, Utah, and Colorado. And we've gotten candidates from all those states. This week, 3 teams are visiting Michigan, New York, and Minnesota. Ms. Kelly is coordinating multiple team efforts to make sure we're able to make the maximum amount of offers, but we still have a lot of positions to fill for next year. Baseball and softball seasons are off to a great start, and our team and fans have shown great energy, enthusiasm, and sportsmanship throughout their games. So far, the Estrella Vista Hawks and Quinton Sharks are pulling away in both baseball and softball. Estrella Vista Hawks are 3-1 in baseball and undefeated in softball. The Quinton Sharks are undefeated both in baseball and softball, and we're going to have a big showdown right after we get back from spring break between these teams. We want to thank La Jolla High School for providing great fields for us to use. We look forward to the rest of the season once we pick up after spring break. In closing, I'd like to express our appreciation to the Country Place PTA for funds donated for field trips and teacher recognition, to the Littleton Student Council for donation of cheer squad uniforms, to Virginia G. Piper Charitable Trust for funds donated to all sites for back-to-school needs, to Gene Alver and Kaylee Wright for books donated to Collier Library, to the ADM Group for funds donated for employee recognition, and to Keith Garrison for rockets and boosters donated to the Junior Tech Club. And that's all I have this evening.